Boom! What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and welcome to the Blind Buy Chronicles episode number 4. Been a minute since we had episode 3. That's where we did our review on Soul Cafe. And today we got a limited edition release fragrance to talk about and to smell for the very first time. This is a collaboration between City Rhythm, you know them very well on the channel, we've spoken of them many times, and Fragrance Knowledge, a very well-known fragrance influencer, reviewer, does YouTube, social media, everything fragrance, very well-known, especially in the community here. So they did a collaboration here recently, and it is a 1 of 500 fragrance. The fragrance is called Reverie, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And we got our hands on it. So super excited. The bottle, I believe, is just straight away inside. And really excited because now we can get to go through with the presentation. And we got a bunch of different elements to talk about. And so we're going to jump right in. And let's see if this blind buy was a win or if it was a fail. So the presentation is quite nice. Everything that City Rhythm has come up with up to this point has been objectively good on the presentation side. But I think for this fragrance, due to its limited number of bottles being produced, they wanted to make the presentation extra special. And so, of course, you have City Rhythm and Fragrance Knowledge. Edition 1 of 500. And then you have both their names and their signatures on the bottom of the box there, which is very, very nice. You kind of have your Made in USA on the back, distributed by City Rhythm LLC. City Rhythm is a registered trademark. And so on the side here, you kind of have a wax seal or a marking here that you've seen likely many times before, especially in decades past. You got City Rhythm, established 2001. And then this is kind of the packaging. And then when you open this up here, I'll show you. Oh, wow. You got the bottle right here. Looks like a velvet kind of backdrop that it's laying on. And then we got some markings right here. I'll read this briefly and we'll get on to the smell. Ephesians 5:20, so shout out to them. Love a Christian fragrance company. And then here, I started City Rhythm not knowing the lengths in which I would go to create fragrances. In all honesty, it's the community that pushed me to explore my brand into one that crafts fragrances inspired by iconic cities. So I give credit to you for motivating me and supporting my endeavor to passionately capture the essence of each city in a bottle. Live in your rhythm. And there you go. You get the bottle. So really nice presentation. We're honestly off to a phenomenal start. Really can't ask for much more. Presentation is great. Very high quality. I love the attention to detail. Niles, especially, he's commented on our videos before and we've had interactions and conversations. He's always really nice and loves giving back to the fans. Loves answering questions. Kind of having that discussion back and forth, so shout out to him for that. But we're going to jump in. We'll go with the price, and then we'll jump into the smell. So with this fragrance, of course, being a limited edition, kind of being higher quality in terms of everything about this fragrance, really, at least from what I've seen so far, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. I believe it is $175 US, and so certainly not cheap for a 50 ml. But everything we've seen just based off of the packaging and then so far now here with this bottle, you know, it's lining up. Everything when it comes to the actual bottle and the packaging about City Rhythm, it's always very nice, very well done. Got a nice weighted cap that snaps on here. You kind of have a gold mountain landscape at the very bottom of the bottle. And then it looks like almost like a light blue to more of a navy blue gradient inside the actual bottle. City Rhythm times X Fragrance Knowledge, Riviere, and then it is an X straight, giving you the concentration there. So $175, all things considered, not bad. I mean, for a 50 ml, it's definitely pricey, but depending on the smell, the performance, the longevity, everything that's about to come after, I think that's really where this is going to come in, because this is a niche fragrance. We got to keep that in mind. And there's designer fragrances that are being charged more than this, easily in the $200. So we'll jump into the smell, but all things considered, the price is not terrible whatsoever. All right, so the moment you have been waiting for, we will go and I will spray this straight to skin. Not messing around. I don't want to test or strip. We're going straight into the skin here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I looked at the notes going into this, and I could definitely tell it was a gourmand fragrance. I think it was like fresh ground coffee beans. You got cocoa in the mid, and then in the base, I think you have like milk and sugar. And so this is definitely supposed to be like a gourmand, almost like a coffee, like you're getting in a cafe. This is what this is supposed to be, at least from what I've gathered from the notes, and definitely what I'm smelling so far. Let me make this comparison just off first impressions here. I told you Soul Cafe, the last Blind Buy fragrance we did, that one was like you're in a cafe, but you're ordering like a pastry or a Danish. It has that sweet, aromatic freshness to it. This is like I'm walking into a cafe and I'm actually ordering a coffee. And before the barista puts the lid on my coffee, I smell it, my drink, what I'm about to have. And that's exactly what this fragrance smells like. The coffee isn't super heavy, and it's definitely not super harsh. I know coffee is a very divisive note when it comes to fragrances. It's kind of like leather and oud. You either love it or you hate it. But the coffee here is done really smooth. I think the milk, the sugar, and even that bit of chocolate, it's all coming in almost immediately. You get a little bit of coffee, but that quickly is met with all the other elements of this fragrance. And yeah, this smells exactly like I'm drinking like a mocha or a latte at a coffee shop. Like I said, not harsh. It's definitely nowhere near a black coffee. This is a gourmand level kind of a smell and what you would order. Really sugary, really milky, and almost like a bit of a creaminess to it. We had talked about Martha's Vineyard that they had come out with some months ago. That had kind of an element of creaminess to it. That's exactly what this has. I mean, I'm imagining the entire coffee making process right now and how you're going to add in the coffee creamer, and you're going to add in the steamed milk, and you're going to maybe add some chocolate if you're getting that added to your coffee. And you're getting all these different elements, but ultimately it comes out to smell so far like a sugary, sweet, kind of chocolatey, kind of ground coffee beans-esque fragrance. And just a drink you would order at a coffee shop. I know I keep going back to that, but that is really where my mind is at with this fragrance. But it's done in the best possible way. And the sweetness and the milkiness that this fragrance kind of has is really addicting. It's very warm, it's very inviting, it's welcoming, and this really smells like a signature order at a coffee shop. If you're someone that's into coffees, if you like the smell of coffee shops, or if you like ordering those kind of drinks, if you're a coffee fanatic, then I think this would really be good for you. It's not over the top too sweet. As I said, the coffee beans and the cocoa really aren't crazy strong, but if you keep in the back of your mind that that is an official note in the fragrance, you can definitely tell that it's there and you pick it up. But it's almost like you get 15% coffee, 15% chocolate, and then really the rest of it is the milk, and it's the sugar, and it's just the creaminess of this beverage that you're drinking or you're seeing made in front of you. Done really nicely. Honestly, this is a really appealing fragrance. I know I've tried to describe it and break it down as best as I can. This is really nice. I think other fragrance influencers, I've watched other videos going into this just to kind of get a game plan and an idea of what I was getting into. I've heard some say that this was like a lotion that would be sold at a luxury hotel. Like you'd go book a reservation somewhere, and in your hotel room would be a lotion that's just a super vanilla, warm, creamy, sugary, sweet lotion with bits of cocoa and bits of coffee. So I get it. I can see that comparison. But this is really, really well done. And even over the course of this video, this fragrance has gotten better. There is absolutely no doubt about that. It's good in the opening, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the chocolate, the ground coffee beans, some more of that sweetness, it starts to become more potent as the fragrance dries down. And this is really well done. I mean, I'm very pleased with this. This is a blind buy win. my goodness. Yeah, what a W. We're going to jump real quick in here at the end. We're going to jump into seasonality and then a bit of performance and longevity. And then we'll kind of wrap up our thoughts. But W with this blind buy. So I'll touch on seasonality. This, of course, is a fall and wintertime fragrance, if you couldn't tell from the note breakdown and all my descriptions. I don't know if you can get away with this in the spring and the summer, especially with City Rhythm. They have so many amazing warm weather fragrances, and I've enjoyed some of their more recent releases like Manhattan Midnights that you can wear in the fall and the winter. But this has taken the cake for me, and I'm not a big gourmand person. Canyon, that's his cup of tea. That's his style. He loves gourmand fragrances. I'm not really there to the level that he is, but this is done really well. I think it walks that line of it being a gourmand, so obviously you'd wear it in the fall and the winter time, but it walks the line so well to the point where people that might not traditionally wear gourmand fragrances, they would wear this because everything is so inoffensive, it's so mass appealing, it's so well blended, it's so high quality. This would be a really good date night fragrance for the fall and the winter time. And I'm going to have to try it out for sure. Especially in the evening time. I think I could wear it daytime or nighttime. I would probably wear this to the office and I wouldn't really feel bad about it. But my goodness, this stuff is really good. And I'm really impressed with what they have done. Fall and winter time, this is a staple for this time of the year. And there's only limited bottles left. So if everything I've said so far sounds good, you might have to blind buy it and get your nose on it before it's too late. But really good fall and wintertime staple, there's no doubt. And then quickly here at the end, we'll just talk performance and longevity. So obviously, I've had this fragrance on my hand for about 13 minutes now. And I really can't tell you the performance and the longevity. Because just like we've done with all these blind buys, this is the first time I've ever worn this fragrance. But from people that I have heard talk about this fragrance, I've heard that it, just like the other City Rhythm fragrances, this is a very similar performance and longevity, which I would expect because it's the same fragrance concentration. Obviously, I don't know if the camera's doing a great job at picking it up, but it's got a bit of a silkiness on my hand. You can definitely tell where I've sprayed. So it's there. You know, it's projecting out. I don't have to put my nose right up to my hand to smell it. I can get it from a couple feet away. And I've heard, you know, typically it's right there with all the other fragrances in terms of how long it lasts. I would say in the 8.5 to 10.5 hour range. That's just kind of my experience. The freshies are a little less, a little bit closer to that 8.5 hour mark on the scale. But with some of these fall and wintertime staples like Manhattan Midnights or Barcelona or Austin, some of them, you definitely can get easily 9 to 10 hours on this and not have to worry about people smelling it. This is very strong. It'll punch above its weight class. And you're going to pay the $175 roundabout to get this fragrance. But it's going to do the job. It's not just going to fade away after a couple hours. And man, this is really, really nice. I'm tying it back to Martha's Vineyard that I did a review on a couple months ago because the softness, but the sugary sweetness and the creaminess, maybe it's the vanilla that I'm picking up on too. I don't even know if that's a note, but all those elements are kind of at play, especially as it's getting to the dry down. But it's done really well. This is a win. This is a success. I think we're 4 for 4 on the blind buy reviews. So comment down below what I should do next for episode 5. I love doing this series. And so you'll just have to keep commenting stuff I should try out. We'll pick it up and myself and Canyon will review it because this has been a great series so far and this is a great addition to the collection. I can't wait to wear it this fall and wintertime season. So that's all for me. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You guys stay safe, and I'll see you Sunday for our devotional. But until then, God bless.